In this video, we're going to be looking to see if it works. We're not going to be doing any repairs in this video. If it does need repairs, we're going to be doing that in a whole nother video because these can get expensive to repair. But this is a very interesting camcorder, as this is not your typical digital 8 or mini DV camcorder. This is what you call MicroMV camcorder. And nope, I'll go ahead and show you. Definitely doesn't use this tape. As you can see, it's pretty much as the tape is pretty much as big as the camcorder, obviously. Okay, so we'll go and put this right there. Definitely not this tape. That's a mini DV tape. It's a MicroMV tape. You can see how much smaller it is compared to, the other two right there. Everything mini DV was small. This is the tape it uses. Pretty small. It's actually the smallest out of all the tape formats and stuff. We're going to see if this works. Now, initially when I got this, it wouldn't actually go ahead and actually load the mechanism. It was in the unloaded position, which meaning the door was open and it was popped out and you couldn't get it to close and stuff like that. I did resolve that issue off camera. I just went ahead and hooked up a power supply to the rear motor and kind of loaded and unloaded it manually a few times so it could clean the contacts on the mode gear to get it enough to work. But we're gonna go ahead and put a tape and actually see if it plays back and stuff, because I haven't gotten that far into it yet. So, and I'll also go and show you where that motor is. So if you have problems with yours and you're knowledgeable enough, you could apply around 4 volts at 1 amp to that rear motor right there and kind of manually load it and then go the other way, unload it. You don't want to go ahead and hit the power supply where you hear clicking. You just want it to come out all the way and then go back the other direction once it stops, and then reverse, and then do that a few times to kind of exercise the contacts to get any oxid off the contacts, so of course the mode gear can start working again. But either way it goes, I went ahead and did that off camera because I wanted to get it enough to where I can actually somewhat use this thing for the video. So we're going and try tape on this thing. So I went ahead and applied power to it, and we're going to load this teeny tape into there. And yes, I have stuff recorded on it, so should be able to play back that material if it does work record. That's assuming. And this one actually even plays back. So we're going to go and load the tape into it. And essentially where the only logo in this side here goes in. So you go and push it all the way in. And once you do that, you actually use the door to close it. And then it should slide in. Yep, and there you go. It's loading it. And we'll go ahead and just test to see if we get any picture on the camera. And yes, we do. So that's a good thing. Alright, let's just see here where the zoom is on this one right here. And you can see there. Let's just see if it works. We'll go and look at the digital 8 camcorder here. And yeah, it does. It works. So the camera is actually working, so that's a good thing. And now let's just go to the tape. And we're going to see if it plays back anything. So far so good. Uh-oh. That's a problem. Oh, yep, looks like we could be fixing something on this. So this will be an upcoming video, but yep, the touchscreen's out. Nothing. So let me go and grab a remote, and I'll be right back once I'm done. So I went ahead and dug out one of my digital 8 camcorder remote controls, and yes, they will work with also the mini DV and MicroMV camcorders. They're pretty much interchangeable, and that's one of the tricks too. If let's say you're a transfer company, don't necessarily want to wait to find another touchscreen that works or whatever the case is, and you just want to use this as a transfer camera, just use any remote control that's from another handycam, and typically it'll work fine so long as the camcorder, of course, has a remote sensor. And let's see if it plays. And of course, yep, and it plays back, and it doesn't eat the tape. Let's just hear it. I'm trying to see if there's any clicking sound, and I'm not hearing any clicking, so at least in the low speed. Sounds good. There's no dropout. There's no audio dropout. So the heads are in good condition. Yeah, actually, this is looking to be a win. Actually, it's me, just because I am hit the board fast forward to try to see how it fast forwards. Okay, and then we'll go reverse scan. It does seem to function. Yeah, someone could be pushes stop or that's a dropout, but either way it goes. Let's see if it does that again, huh? I wonder if it's doing every few seconds or that's someone stopping it or whatever. Well, this tape was recorded on another MicroMV camcorder, so who knows how they recorded it. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be a problem with the camcorder. It's probably the way the tape was recorded. Let's just fast forward it to a different part. And yeah, there's a slight clicking. You can hear it in the background. Not sure what that's coming from, so yeah, that will require further investigation. Let's just play it right here. I'm not hearing it during playback though. Yeah, someone's at a farm. Okay. And let's just scan forward. Yeah, and like I said, it plays back fine, so it's whoever recorded that other scene before, but yeah, it's actually playing back good, so there's no problem. Not hearing any audio dropped out, but like I said, I don't like playing too much audio only because, you know, you could potentially get a copyright strike. Let's just forward to a different part. Play. Yeah, more music, of course. Okay. Let's not play too much of that, but it does seem to be working though, at least. So we'll go and just rewind the tape all the way to see how it sounds. And yeah, there's that clicking. Definitely there's a clicking, so... Well, I might have to source the touchscreen for this thing anyway, so I might as well go look for another one of these, maybe with good transport, but it depends if it has the same problem or not. And then take parts from that to fix this, because there's no point... See, it doesn't do it on the low speed, though. It only does it on the higher speed. But I'll have to investigate to see what's going on with that. And of course, I'll have to source another touchscreen, because touchscreen itself, non-functional, completely dead. I mean, it could be, you know, connection, but I doubt it. Typically means that, you know, the touch panel itself went bad, because there's a digitizer on there and they typically go bad. So I'm likely gonna have to source another if I want to fix it completely. But for the most part, it works. I mean, it can be used as a playback machine even, and you know, even the camera works no problem and stuff like that. So this is a win, and literally I only paid 15 bucks with shipping, probably like about 25 bucks total for this thing. And even for parts, they typically can get up to the $100 range, you know, for a parts one. And then individual parts could go like 20 to 50 bucks and stuff like that. So to get this whole thing for 25 shipped to the door, not a bad deal. And I mean, mostly everything works. So if I wanted just to use this thing for playback, I could do that, and it's a win. And I mean, it's in over, and I'll turn it around and flip it around so you can see the condition of it. It's in great condition. I mean, there's a couple little scratches here and there, but overall very clean. We'll go to the other side even too. All right, and you can see there, it's nice and clean. You can see on top it's clean. We'll go to the business end of it, of course, which is the front. And you can see there, it's overall in nice condition. So it's a win in my book. And this pretty much concludes the video for this DCR-IP5 MicroMV digital camcorder. And in the upcoming video, I'll do a separate video if I do find another parts one, and we'll be repairing this. And yep, I'm a complete idiot. It doesn't have touchscreen, so of course the touchscreen's not gonna work because it's not a touchscreen. Guess what it has? It has the D-pad. And I completely forgot about that because I haven't used these in a while, and I'm so used to using the Sony mini DVs, which pretty much all have touchscreen. And I completely forgot about it until I saw it. I'm like, duh. You know what I mean? There's a D-pad. But yeah, that's how you hit the functions and stuff. And then, of course, if I want to hold the fast forward, I just hold this there. I have used one of these before, so I should have known that, but it took me having to see it, and I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. But yeah, there you go. It works fine. So no, I won't have to be looking at the LCD. The only thing I'll have to look at is to see where the clicking sound is coming from on that deck. But there you go. So here's inside the transport really quick, and I figure I'll go ahead and give you an inside peek in one of these because this is one of the smallest tape transport. And let's just go ahead and hit that switch there so we can unload, and you can see it as it unloads. And then there you go. And you can see the little bitty reel tables right there. It looks like there's some junk there. That could be what's causing the clicking too. Guess I'll have to investigate that. But you can see the little bitty head drum back there. And then the capstan motor is right back there. The pinch roll and stuff is behind that metal shield right there. Kind of see it there, but it's hard to see it. It's such a small mechanism. You can see the loading motor in the rear. Let's go and close it. Probably get a better view as it loads too. And then there you go. You can see the pinch roll went right back there. And you can see a little bit in the backside, the head drum, and then you can see the little bitty loading motor right there. And that's where the two contact points there. If you get one that's stuck where it's in the open position and you can't close it, and you try applying power or whatever and it still won't close, you can use a power supply at 4 volts, and then you go one direction, and you know you want to go the direction obviously to in the loaded position, which is how it is right now, and then you go the other direction to the unloaded position. You want to be careful not to leave the power on once it's unloaded and loaded so you don't damage the gears or anything like that. And you just exercise it a few times, and pretty much what that does is exercises the mode switch, so it cleans off any oxid that build up and stuff, and it usually typically fixes the problem. Now, if it doesn't and still does it again, then you will have to tear down the mechanism, like take this carriage assembly out, take the top plate out, and then disassemble the top half of the transport to get to the mode gear and stuff and retime it and stuff, which is a pain in the butt. I mean, in some decks, like the mini DV decks, they have the mode gear, the black one that's right by the loading motor. Or typically, you could get a needle with a small amount of contact cleaner and get it underneath the gear so you don't have to tear apart the whole transport. But on these, if I remember correctly, it's somewhere in the middle, and it's a pain in the neck to tear one of these apart. It's been many years since I serviced one of these, and they're quite a pain too, because you can see how small this transport is. But I figure I'll go ahead and give you an inside peek at least of it. I don't know if I'm going to necessarily need to repair this or not, so there might not be an upcoming video of it, because it does seem to work fine despite the slight clicking and the high speed rewind for it. But it doesn't do it in normal playback and regular fast scan and rewind scan and stuff. It's quiet there. It's only doing the clicking and high speed rewind or forward, so I have to see what's going on with that. Maybe I can find another transport if I do see a crack in one of the gears that I could take parts out of. But either way it goes, it does work, and it would work as a playback machine, no problem. So maybe there'll be a video on the repair of this, maybe not, because obviously it doesn't have a touch screen. So besides the clicking sound, there's really not much to repair on this.